Pirate Software has not only apologized, but he was right. Now, I am just as shocked as you, fellow terminally online individual, but I want to give a bit of context because it's going to be helpful for this one. Yesterday, I had posted a video, Pirate Software's mod team quit, and it has gone pretty viral. The information has been found to be interesting by the likes of people like Asmongold, who has also done a video covering it. And Asmongold, for what it's worth, he's covered a few of my videos in the past. He seems to be, pretty level-headed in terms of covering it. He does his whole thing. But most importantly, Asmongold appears to have a good level of knowledge, or at least the knowledge needed to look at the drama that we're talking about and understand it and be brought up to speed. The same cannot be said for world-renowned Rumble streamer Tectone. And because of world-famous Rumble streamer Tectone's, lack of knowledge, it appears that he might now have to give 200 subs over to Pirate Software, as well as donate $10,000 to a charity of Pirate Software's choice. But of course, before we jump into that, shameless plug, we've got merch going on right now. It's the Double Down merch. We've also got these super slick Drama Frog mugs here with Quaker Nation, go milk yourself. I'll have a link for the site where you can get all of this in my pinned comment, and right below that, I'll have a link to the Discord. If you're 18 and up, like to talk drama and games, we've had a ton of people recently join, so love to see you there. And if you like this content and want to see more of it, consider subscribing, even though YouTube's going to show you my videos regardless of that fact. And if you like this video, want it in front of more people, leave it a like, perchance a hype. It really helps out the channel. But truly, regardless of if you do any of that shit, thank you for watching. Now, we're off to a great start. This is a cut down on Tectone's YouTube page from his legendary Rumble streams, where the title is Pirate Software Leaked DMs, It's Bad. Obviously, number one, these are not leaked DMs. The only leaked DMs are the chats that I had with moderators. All of this was in a public Discord channel on Kronos' server. Now, I thought maybe he just misunderstood that point, but it turns out that Tectone is not actually really a big fan of how I cover things, as I've made a video or two about him, I'm assuming. And I'm going to play just the first minute and a half of this video, and I think we're going to be on the same page as to what clearly went wrong here. Pirate Software's crew, more specifically his first mate, that being Kronos, is head.
Now, I will say, I take every Quintio video with a massive grain of salt, because I understand this is a man who's just trying to get a bag, and I respect that. But sometimes he really misses the point, and that's absolutely A-okay. That's where I come in.
Now, that is a teensy bit ironic, and the rest of his mod team have either been fired or jumped ship. And in doing a bit of research,
saying your mod team is fired is a very exaggerated way to just say they were unmodded. Firing a moderator, it's not a big a deal. These aren't employees, right? These are just people who volunteer to help out. It's really not that big of a deal. It makes no difference in their life whether they mod or don't mod. So like saying they got fired is like, it's kind of an exaggerated statement.
And it seems that they were having some conversations in regard to their tenure working for Pirate Software, and I would say the negative
tenure for working for Pirate Software. What the fuck is going on, bro? Like, maybe these guys are doing way more than any other mod on Earth, but like, it sounds like they're talking like a corporate CEO office like position. What do you mean tenure of being a mod? Like, is Pirate Software out here paying his mods like 60 grand a year?
He was so close. He was so close. If it looks like a duck and sounds like a duck and walks like a duck, it might be a duck. Oh, it's so bizarre. They're talking about this like working for him, tenure, firing. It's not like he's paying them, like he's said repeatedly. And here I was worried that I was missing a few bits of information. I'm so grateful that Tectone has shown up to react to my video to set the record straight.
But sometimes he really misses the point, and that's absolutely A-okay. That's where I come in.
Now, admittedly, I never really watched any of Tectone's stuff. I've made videos about him because I found it pretty funny that he admitted to being a grifter in court. Really, outside of covering some general news like the fact that it appears that he is going to get sued by his ex yet again after he lost the first court case, I would go as far to say after watching his reaction to my content that I'm not a fan of the guy. But we do need to take a look at another clip because he was very much in staunch disbelief at the idea that Pirate Software was full-time paying the moderation team as well as getting them benefits. This specific tweet comes from Snaky Leaf, so shout out to them. Tectone is extremely doubtful that Jason, Pirate Software, is paying his mods a full-time salary and challenges for proof to be shown and puts a bounty of 200 gifted subs if any proof is provided.
Is there any proof beyond Pirate Software's word that he's paying his mods full-time salaries.
I'm super happy to see that renowned Rumble streamer Tectone reaches out to Grok to get the hard-hitting information that he needs to, make the assumptions that he does.
No, there is no proof beyond their words because it's a fucking lie. It's bullshit. There is no way he is paying 12 employees a full-time salary because I know how much Pirate makes. He doesn't make that much.
I'm sure if he was also streaming on Rumble, he'd be making way more money.
And I will gift him 100 subs if I'm wrong. He may have done this at a point. He no longer does this. And if I'm wrong, I will gift him, no, not 100. I'll gift him 200 subs. 200 subs or $5,000 to a charity of his choice. Show me that you're paying 12 moderators $60,000 a year with benefits over, you know what? I'll be gracious, over the last 6 months. You show me that, $10,000 to a charity of your choice.
So there it is, the challenge. He did some apt research with Grok, and he has come to the conclusion that it is impossible that Pirate Software was paying this full moderation team like he's claimed multiple times over the last few years. Now, the reason that I showed you that Twitter post in specific is that post doesn't actually include his, I'm going to, donate to charity, 200 subs or the donation to charity. That was in his actual video. That's where that clip came from. But the reason I included that is because Pirate Software responded to that clip. So we've got this response. He shows redacted information showcasing that he, was sending payments in the W-2s of those payments as well. Shows that they were wire transfers originally and they switched over to different payroll systems afterwards. But we actually have Pirate talking about it on stream as well, which I figured would be, better for you guys to see. So I'll just play that clip now. Shout out to Leia Sapienti. I'm sorry if I'm butchering that, but they actually have this clip that we're going over here.
I put this up and I said the moment my content blew up, I started paying my moderators and other staff. The blow up happened in December 2023. Payment started in May 2024. We used wire transfers originally because I didn't know how to set anything up. I even gave them bonuses on Christmas. And all of that is actually detailed in here. I've redacted all of the payments and their names for obvious reasons. You don't make that shit public. That's their private information. Yeah, no. But all the dates are on here, and then it shows even the off-cycle payments that we did for bonuses for the employees as well, which is important to understand. But yeah, everything is there and accounted for on a monthly basis going all the way back to May 2024. And that was the thing is, like, if he makes that kind of a claim, and he claims that I wasn't doing that, this is the receipts. So don't make bullshit claims on the internet, bud. And if he's going to pay $10,000 to charity, I want it going to my Ahiga and Alveus Sanctuary, 100%.
So that's the dunk. And I already see people, being upset that he has blacked this stuff out. But yeah, it is a no-brainer. I don't disagree with Pirate there. The thing that I find funnier is that Tectone genuinely believed this because it shows that he probably didn't know that this has been something that has been claimed since 2023. And I don't think it takes a genius to just kind of think about this for a sec. If your boss was not paying you very well and they went around talking publicly, to people that you yourself interact with as part of your job and was saying things like, yeah, I pay them full time. They have full access to benefits, all this good stuff. Why wouldn't you say something and completely expose them and also just not work there? You don't really even have to think through this point very hard. This is a pretty shallow, dig into this. If the mods weren't being paid like Pirate said they were, why would they be working there? Why would they be doing the job? Why wouldn't they have mentioned something earlier? Yes, they were under NDA. But if you've got your boss just straight up lying about all this shit, that would incentivize you to leave. And neither of those things happened. I think I also would have just expected it to come out in the leaks that are in Kronos' public Discord, but no one was complaining about how they were being compensated. I am very curious to hear what you guys think. This just really felt like Tectone had no idea what he was talking about, made this claim, and realistically, it would be cool to see him donate that $10,000, which he challenged Pirate on. But realistically, I think he's just going to bitch and moan about, private information being blacked out. And that's all we're going to see from that. But that's not where the story ends, because in that clip that I was just showing you earlier, Pirate also takes accountability and apologizes in essence, which I found pretty interesting.
So I know mods, we didn't make enough money. That's really what it came down to. I made an announcement up on Discord about it. It's entirely my fault that happened. I even put out this whole announcement if you want to read this. Go grab it here. So, wanted to let you all know that we've been changing around the moderation team. Not as large of a creator as I was last year, and I had to let people go due to it. This isn't what I wanted to happen, but it's important to get things stabilized and move forward. The primary cause of all this is me more than anyone else. I took a stance on things that I believe in, and as a result, the studio makes less income, and I had to cut staff to keep things afloat. After that cut, 2 more moderators resigned, which I don't blame them for at all. Please respect their privacy and let them handle this in the way they need to. I hold no ill will towards any of them, and their HR channels are still open should they need anything. That's like that for all of them. To the community, I'm sorry that I didn't say anything about this sooner. We're trying to keep things running for as long as possible without this being the outcome. I didn't want to fire people. That sucks, you know. It was not meant to be as a deception or anything like that towards you guys. I just wanted to keep everyone happy and keep these plates spinning, you know, until it proved to be impossible to manage. And that's kind of what happens there, right? You know, like you just, at a certain point, you go, well, we're out of options. This is it, you know.
Before we dive into some of the details of that post that he's reading off, like I'm never going to condemn Pirate for saying, you know, my bad or taking accountability in any way, shape, or form. Now, yes, he says the primary cause of all this is me more than anyone else. I took a stance on things I believe in, and as a result, the studio makes less income and I have to cut staff, etc. He kind of makes it sound like he was a martyr, which I would say is probably minimizing a bit as to what all went down. But regardless of that fact, I still think this is good. I know that not every viewer is going to agree with that. If any of you have been along for the ride as long as I have been covering this, you understand that there's a pattern of behavior, and that is going to probably keep you from believing that anything like this is genuine coming from Pirate. At the same time, and I really don't want to come off as condescending here, and I truly mean that, but it always feels like whenever something like this is happening, or like he takes a step in the right direction, it's being like, oh, good. It comes off condescending to me. My whole point is that any step in the direction towards accountability and recognizing your fault and your role in the inevitable everything going to shit is awesome, and I respect that. But not only that, we also have a bit of information in regard to the other stuff that I've covered, like the moderators. When I reached out to them asking for a comment and stuff, one of those mods in particular said something along the lines of, I'm not able to nor willing. And that makes sense now. As we can see here, full moderators are under NDA, as he's talking about setting up some new community mods. So it makes sense that they weren't willing to chat with me about their experience working for Pirate, because they're under NDA. Some people have shown that seems a bit suspicious and stuff, but at the same time, he had a mod team of 12 people. It is not a crazy idea that Pirate Software had them under NDA. Obviously, NDAs can hide nefarious stuff, or companies want to do so, and so they have you sign NDAs that are really just to keep you hush-hush about stuff that's not so great. But at the same time, just having the people working under you sign NDAs when you are in a public-facing company like Pirate Software is not inherently a bad thing or a shady thing. I want to be charitable where it's fair. Feel free to disagree with me, but regardless, I found that information useful. Now, the last couple things are just Pirate kind of commenting on stuff to give a bit further information on how that's all going. Some people in his Discord were saying, talking about what was going on with the banter on Kronos' Discord, saying Parasite is far beyond banter, and then Pirate responded to the person above, no idea, I'm not on it, not really interested in banter, and I hold no issue with any of the past staff. Not addressing the Parasite stuff, don't really blame him, especially if it's true. I'm assuming it is. I feel like, again, Pirate would have an easy dunk to say that Kronos is lying about that, or that the people that were saying that Kronos got called a parasite were lying about it. But then someone else was commenting about the Kronos bio change and whatnot, and Pirate replied saying, yep, he does not work for me. Based on his profile, it seems he wants to be left alone about it. As I said in the announcement, all the missing moderators were either laid off or, in the case of 2 of them, resigned. So just going off of that, I don't think it was just Kronos. I think he fired a good chunk of the rest of the team, and then in tandem, those other 2 resigned, if we're just going off of Pirate's words. I don't really have any reason to not believe him there, but figured you guys might want to have that extra info. But that does bring this video to a close. We've got some Mr. B stuff coming up, a workplace discrimination lawsuit. Oh boy. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, leave it a like, perchance a hype, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Adios. Peace. Bye.